What's going on, y'all? My name is Keith. Welcome to the channel. This is video number 1, and I want to talk about something that I often deal with when I'm selling a car here at the store, and that is the deposit and whether or not a person needs to or should put down a deposit. Now, I first want to deal with something that I saw. Part of this came about from watching TikTok, and there's a video where it was saying that it's illegal for a dealership to ask for a deposit. And I was blown away when I saw that, and I couldn't understand why someone would tell that or say that, because it is totally untrue, and I'm going to try to explain why. Now, on this channel, I'm going to let you know I'm not going to do a lot of frills. I'm just going to give you a lot of information. You got to listen to the end, get it all, and go from there, so it won't be a lot of edits. Basically one take, all mistakes. So since this is the first video, just want to let you guys know that. All right, so here we go. Is it illegal? No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Let me explain how deposits are supposed to work. Okay, so first of all, there's two people that should put down a deposit. It's up to you in some instances based on your credit. If you have great credit, you may not want to put down a deposit. A friend of mine always said, always spend somebody else's money and keep your own money in your pocket as much as possible. But that's on you if you have great credit, which brings me to the deposit and why you might need to put one down. So check it out. When you go to a dealership and they look at your deal. I'm going to use round numbers and try to explain this. And so let's say the car costs $10,000. Brand new car, $10,000, right? I know that was years ago. So anyway, the car costs 10 grand. So your credit comes back, and for whatever reason, your credit is not as great as you thought. And the bank only says they're going to give the store $7,000 for your loan. Now, I know you don't get to see this, but this is typically how this will happen. So you'll come back. This is one way. There's other ways. So if I miss something, I'll try to pick it up in another video. But so the bank comes back and says, hey, we're going to give Keith $7,000 for the loan. We're not going to give him any more. Okay? So that means that $10,000 car, the bank is giving $7,000, but you still owe $3 grand. So now your sales guy goes up to the desk, comes back out, tells you got to put $3,000 down. Now, you could try to negotiate and all that kind of stuff. Depending on the car, you could. I'm not going to get into new and used at this point. Just want to get into the basics of that loan. So is it illegal for someone to come out and say, you need $3,000 down on that loan? No, because the car is 10 grand. The bank only gave you $7,000. There's another $3 grand left. You have to pay that. The dealership is not required to pay that. And in most instances, it doesn't make sense for the dealership to pay that. They're losing money if they do that. So why would they pay it? Ta-da! You have to put a deposit down. So that's one reason. Another reason comes in. For whatever reason, your credit is so jacked up or bad, and I'm not being mean when I say that, but your credit is such where there's a fee added. In other words, where the bank says, we'll fund the loan, full pop, but they're going to charge a fee to the store to even take the loan. Well, so follow me. That $10,000 car now has whatever, let's say it's a $2,000 or $3,000 fee added to that on top of that. So now that car is $13,000 because the bank doesn't want to pay for the loan because of your credit situation. So now you got to put a deposit down to cover that fee. Now, could the store cover that fee? Yeah, but is it advantageous? Maybe not. Maybe they're having a great month and they want to, but in most instances, or I should say in a lot of instances, sometimes they're not going to do that. You follow me? So if your credit is such that it requires a fee, in other words, the bank doesn't trust that your bills are going to be paid on time or at all, then because based on your previous credit situation, they're not going to give the loan without you paying. You got to basically buy your credit. That's basically what you're doing. You're buying your credit at that point. So there are myriad of reasons why you have to or may want to put down a deposit. Let's go to the person that has pretty good credit. The loan goes through and they ask for money down, or you'll even get your salesperson to ask you, how much do you want to put down? Well, understand, sometimes just by doing that, you can lower your payment. Well, always you'll lower your payment when you put some money down. Now, typically the rule is 15 to 20 bucks for every $1,000. Somewhere in that window is probably going to be right. You follow me? So that deposit is important in that instance because you want to lower your payment. Here's another reason. Maybe I can think of another reason. Putting up, maybe you want to put down a deposit just because you don't want to finance as much, or like some people would say, I've had people say, how much are the taxes? Well, I say, okay, the taxes are $2,850 or whatever the taxes are. Well, I don't want to finance any of the taxes or the fees. I just want to finance the car. Perfect. You put down the deposit to pay for the taxes and the fees. You put that on there, and that can cover that. So it's just a couple of different reasons why it is wrong to suggest to anyone that it is illegal to ask for or require a deposit. Oftentimes, like I say, the biggest number one reason that the dealers ask for a deposit, and when I say dealer, let me make sure that I make this plain. I'm talking about a reputable dealer. I'm not talking about a buy here, pay here, or someone off. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you go to a reputable dealer, an actual dealer. And when I mean by dealer, they make cars, all right? They don't just buy cars at an auction and bring them in. These are the people that make cars. Now, this deposit can be on new or used, doesn't matter. But the fact is, they make cars, they're asking for a deposit. Why? Because the bank is telling them, you can't get your loan. Your credit might be a little shaky. Or they just ask and say, hey, would you like to do that? It's up to you. If they give you the choice, sometimes it's up to you because your credit is good enough. You walk in with a 700 beacon, 800 beacon, 650 beacon, then yeah, man, it's possible. But understand this, if you've been going to Credit Karma, and I've seen this a bunch of times, this is just an add-on, I'm almost done. You've been going to Credit Karma and they told you had a 700 beacon and all of a sudden they run it and you come back as a 530, yeah, you're gonna need some money down, all right? And there might be a certain percentage that you need down. You follow what I'm saying? So it just depends. It just depends. But it is not true that it is illegal for a car company to ask for a deposit. Your situation may require it. All right? Hope that helped you out. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.